All right. Good Friday morning, everyone. How you doing? Good deal. Good Friday morning to all of our terminals, too. Salt Lake and Pittston. Glad to have you on today. Today is Friday, July 16th, 2021, and this is Friday morning safety meeting. Not only safety, but we talk operations, maintenance as well, but we always lead it off with safety, and glad to have you. Got some important people up here this morning, too. Off to my right, we got our IT folks. We've got Brianne and Richard. They're the ones that are running this, the technicalities of running this show and making sure everything works right. And for the little late start on that, because I think they had a little hiccup with one of our terminals, but we want to get everybody we can. And so they were able to fix that, thank goodness, because you don't want Steve and I up here trying to fix anything with tons of computers, so we won't do it. So also off to my left, we got Andrea here. She's doing Facebook Live and YouTube, so this is being broadcasted out there live. To all of our drivers out there that are delivering freight, not able to attend this morning's meeting, thank you for what you do. You guys do an awesome job. Appreciate your commitment, being out on the road. And, let's make sure if you're watching this that you're not going down the road watching it on your cell phone or anything like that, because that is illegal and then it's not safe. We want you to stop, be in a safe location to watch it. If you're not able to, remember, they're always recorded, so you can go back and pick them up and watch them later on as well. So if you have questions and you're out there on the road or you're somewhere at a truck stop or rest area, make sure you send them in to Andrea and she'll get them up to us, and we'll hopefully get them answered as quickly as we can. So one other important person I got with me, our wingman today, I got our Director of Safety, Steve Field.
Morning, Dave.
Welcome, Steve. My name's I'm in the safety department. Steve, I've been here about 20 years. I think, Steve, you've been here, what, 25? Yeah, you got 5 years on me. So we've been here a little bit. This whole program that we do here, these Friday morning meetings, have transgressed throughout the years. Many years ago, they were just on Saturdays, and they're tape recorded with the cassette tape.
Cassettes.
Yes. And then we started digitally putting them on CDs and putting them out to truck stops so drivers could get them. And eventually we moved into this, having a Friday morning meeting, which is by far the best bet we got. And now we got all the connections with the terminal, so it's awesome. So let's meet our terminals. Let's go up to Pittston, Pennsylvania. We got Rick up there.
Good morning. Wow, that was a little loud. Good morning.
How you doing, buddy? How many people you got there this morning?
We got a good crowd today and a big class this week. So yeah, we got a good crowd going on.
Good deal. What do you got going on up there in the Northeast?
You know, it's a nice day up here. The sun is shining. Going to be a nice weekend. So yeah, everybody's going to have a good time this weekend. Get the pad going and get some of these guys trained.
Good deal. You got some chuckles down here. We got a little rainy morning going on, which in Missouri in July get a rainy morning. We're pretty happy about that because it keeps the grass growing. But yeah, good deal, Rick. If you have any questions or anything, make sure you holler at us, buddy.
We certainly will. We appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Appreciate you too. Let's go out west to Salt Lake City, Utah. I think this morning we have Aaron on. Aaron, you with us?
Good morning. Good morning.
How you doing, Aaron?
Doing well. We've got a lot of people here in the cafeteria today. It's going to be a bright and sunny day. We've had a lot of those here recently. Very hot, very dry summer out here. We're trying to keep everybody out on the pad hydrated and give them some good breaks so they can come in and cool down. But we're getting through it.
Good deal. Now, Aaron, you were a fleet manager for a number of years. Can you give us a little bit of background on yourself?
Sure. Yes, sir. I was a fleet manager for about 12 years out here. Started in Springfield. I am from Springfield. And about 3 years ago, I transitioned over to training and orientation. I manage those two departments now. And also do some stuff for the safety department and occasionally HR. So stay pretty busy.
Great to have you. And thank you for hosting the meeting since Brian and Rich are out. We're glad you're up there to be able to do this.
Yeah, no problem.
So same thing, man. If you got any questions or whatever, I think you got Mr. Romo up there. I think I see him, Roy. Wave, Roy. There you go. Good deal. Yeah, Roy's been with us many years, so glad to have him in there in the audience too as well. So if you're ever through any of our terminals in Salt Lake, Pittston, you guys can catch us on Friday morning as well. So they host them and do a wonderful job. Back here in Springfield, Welcome everybody again. If you are new to Prime and you're at one of our 3 terminals this morning, if you're new, if you please stand, we'd love to recognize you at this time. Come on. Welcome everybody, and welcome to the Prime family. We got a big family, but we're very proud of it, and we care about every one of you. And just remember, safety is always number one out there on the highways, and even in here. Let's be safe, and love to have you. Thank you for wearing your vest this morning too. Good thing to wear. I'll be honest with you, you get out there on the road, it's still a good thing to wear. Your customers at the truck stops, you are visible. When you're not wearing your vest, sometimes it's hard to pick up people, and you'll find out real quick that this is a dangerous occupation if you haven't realized that yet. But we want you safe, and you do what you can to be safe, and that'll help make us a safe company overall. So, Steve, I'm going to turn it over to you for a few minutes.
Kind of wore yourself out, Dave.
Yeah, I did. I almost need a CPAP machine or something to get some oxygen going up here.
I'd like to also welcome everyone here, and certainly maybe a special welcome to the new folks. We appreciate you taking a chance on us, maybe upending your life a little bit, a new profession. Times you think, man, maybe this is too hard. I can't do this. I can't back it in there. Yeah, you can. We've got what I consider to be the best training in the industry. This is not a truck driving school. This is more of an apprenticeship where you'll go out with your instructor from that point, from your permit to get your CDL. Then we're going to send you out for a long time with your trainer and really learn the ins and outs of driving. And just going to recommend you listen to these men and women. They've been doing it for a while. They know what they're doing. There's a good chance they started where you started. 15 years ago is when we started this PSD program, and it has really allowed us to grow our company. And that's important to us. Growth is always important. So we're grateful that you're here. We will do everything we can to take care of you, treat you with respect, but we'll ask you always to do the right thing out there. Be safe. If you're going to err, always err on the side of safety. If you're not sure about something, ask for some help, call someone. People are always available 24/7 to help you out. So welcome. We're glad you're here, and enjoy the meeting.
All right, let's look at some of our safety numbers this past week. We had 95 DOT inspections total. Usually that number is well up over 100, so we're a little bit down this week. 58 of those were clean, so a 61% clean rate. Paid out the week before, I should say, we paid out over $6,600. So this past week, we haven't got those figures yet, but we're doing really well on payouts. $100 for a clean inspection. That's what we give, or that's what we pay to you for getting those clean. No violations. Has to be on that inspection, and you'll get that $100. If you're a company driver, it's $25. So you do get paid on those. Year to date, Steve, we're at 68% on clean inspections. So we're doing better than we were last year. So let's keep that number going. And, it makes us a safer company with the feds and with the state enforcements as well, because they look at that stuff. Any guess where we get the most inspections at? What state? How do you know that, man? You're a new guy. You're a PSD. You know California? Have you? Grapevine, there you go, man. You even know the highways and byways. That's good. Yes, California is our number 1 state. Ohio second, and the state of Washington has jumped up to number 3rd. So yeah, those are the top 3. Now the top ones, we get clean inspections. Anybody want to guess? Not Missouri, not Ohio. California, yes. Right back. Thought maybe you get that one too, but yeah. Number 1 clean inspection state is California. Number 2, Ohio, and number 3 is Tennessee. So you're going through those states, be ready for an inspection, and make sure every day that you're doing thorough pre-trips on your truck. You're checking your lights, checking your brake lights. Every time you stop, really, you should at least do a walk around, but make sure, beginning of the day, you're crawling up underneath you. There's nothing broken, no cross members. You got a good connection on that 5th wheel. People will do funny things out there on the road, and unfortunately, pulling the 5th wheel does happen sometimes. So you need to make sure before you leave that everything's secure, everything's hooked up, and everything's working properly on your trailer and your truck. If it's not, get a hold of your road assist person immediately. So we'll get those addressed. Yesterday, I had the fortunate occurrence to go up to Jefferson City, meet with the Highway Patrol, the state enforcement, federal enforcement was there as well. We had our Missouri Trucking Association Safety Council meeting. In attendance was Captain Kelly with the Missouri Highway Patrol, and he brought up some interesting statistics, if I could talk correctly, but yeah, stats. He said last year there's over 52,000 trucks that missed Missouri scales. Now that's total throughout. You have 52,000, over 52,000 trucks that went by their scales when they were open. This year they've got enforcement in place to go after those people. Not always were they able to do that, but now they do. They're getting a system set up where they will go after a driver. You will get a ticket and you will be brought back for a full inspection. You need to make sure when you're out there on the highways that you know where all the scales are, and that's part of trip plan. And get a motor carrier atlas book. Make sure you know, and on the motor carrier atlas, it's the red dots on each will tell you what state scales are. Make sure you're looking for them. Also, there's some states, Kansas is one of them, Colorado, sometimes they will put up a surprise inspection. They'll just put up a sign and say, pull in here, there's a dirt lot. We're going to do a quick inspection on you or on these trucks, and they'll do that. So be looking for inspections at all times. This is a big one here. We don't want to miss any scales. You miss the scale, you're already behind the 8 ball. You already got a violation. And what do you think that trooper, that officer is going to do next? Well, they're going to give you a pretty thorough check because they're trying to figure out why did you miss that. You shouldn't miss it. And to them, there's no other way. So be ready for those scales. We love our clean inspections, and that's what drives our safety numbers. And missing the scales is not acceptable. So let's see, what else are you talking about? Missouri's going to start a trooper in a truck, and I didn't know this was going on, but he said a number of states have already started this. They actually put a tractor trailer out with a state trooper in it, another state trooper to watch unsafe drivers drive around trucks, which I think is a pretty good program. And they said it's amazing. The states that have already started is how many car drivers they've cited for unsafe lane changes, cutting trucks off, braking in front of trucks, things like that. So Missouri is going to start that soon. And so I don't know if you'll see them or even recognize them, but they'll be out there on the highways with you all and watching for aggressive driving from car drivers, motorcycle drivers, things like that, and have enforcement ready to stop those people. So that's a great program as well. One other addition, the Joplin scale. They are currently rebuilding it. That's the inbound on I-44 down here coming into the state of Missouri. They're redoing it, create more room for truck parking, a better scale site. This should be done by December of this year. When it's done, then they will close down the outbound Joplin scale going into Oklahoma. Then Oklahoma will eventually build their own scale on their side for inbound Oklahoma on 44. So that'll be coming. Missouri's scale should, like I said, Joplin should be done in December, and then they'll close down the outbound one. So just a heads up on that. But once again, make sure for all these inspections, because it's important. That's part of our life out there on the road. And, it's understandable if you're nervous for a DOT inspection. Officers, they get that. They understand too. But, just being prepared and knowing where everything's at, and knowing your registration book, knowing where your card is for your e-logs, all that, and be able to explain that to the officer, keeps you off on the right step for a clean inspection and a good one. So. Got anything to add to that?
A lot of good information there, Dave. And I will give you one little teaser. That's kind of a term we use in social media, a teaser. So in a couple of weeks, Dave has lined up Captain Kelly and his boss, Major Turner.
Yes, Major Turner.
Major Turner. They'll be here. So obviously y'all won't be here. But take a look at that video when we put it out on YouTube or Facebook. We always enjoy having the Highway Patrol here. They're not our enemy. We're partners with them. We're all in this together for safety. We're always glad when Captain Kelly can make it because he brings a wealth of information. We get a lot of good questions. So that'll be August 6th that we have the captain and the major here for our meeting.
And they love Prime. I tell you what, they love our inbound bays over here, the new plaza. This is incredible to have a couple scales inside, be able to weigh your trucks. Not only that, to have a reader on the tires and all that, because they even looked at that for their state scales before doing the Joplin one down there. Do they want to go to a system like that? Because anything they can do, it's less person on the truck. It just creates more time to be able to look at more trucks and makes things safer for their inspectors. So they like Prime, there's no doubt about it. And they're big supporters of us, and they do a great job with enforcing the regulations out there. So
that they do. We appreciate them. We've got a number of good speakers today. I'll give you an idea of who we've got. First, we're going to have the tanker division up. We're going to have Brett Vonwiller come up and kind of talk about where we are with the tanker division. Justin Kaufman's going to come up. He's our call center manager for Road Assist, and he's got some folks he wants to introduce use today that really can be a real asset for you when you have an issue with some of your equipment. And we're going to have Stan Kasterke come up and just talk a little bit about our PSD program and how it flows from PSD to TNT, and take any questions that you have on that. And we'll try to get Bill up as well to talk security. We can never forget about security out there on the road. The thieves are active. They're always looking for an easy piece of freight to steal out there. So we need to always be on our guard. We've got great procedures, and as long as we follow them, we're okay out there. So we're going to get started. And, I'll kind of preface bringing Brett up with, we always get the question, when can we build a terminal here? When can we build a terminal there? Well, looking at this facility, and as you see our Salt Lake City and Pittston facility, you'll see we don't do anything halfway. We're very, very meticulous in the building of our terminal. Any terminal, we want it to be for our drivers, a home away from home, if you will, where you can come in, relax, it's safe, shower, eat, get your truck worked on, talk to people, play basketball. But we are going to be building something new for the tanker division, and it'll be for all our drivers. So Brett, I'll key it up like that. So go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. I am Brett Vonwiller. I work up in our tanker operations group. I work with the tanker division as well as our tank washes throughout the country. Throughout the last 15 months, if you've watched the videos, you've heard me talk about how we need drivers, how we need teams, how we keep outperforming. Last year, that hasn't changed. But I wanted to take a minute to tell you guys a little bit about what the tanker division involves. So we have a kosher food grade and a non-kosher food grade division over there. The non-kosher food grade is hauling product like tallow, some eggs. You'd think eggs wouldn't fit in the tanker, but they bust them up, and it all goes into the dog industry. Our food grade kosher side is hauling your oils, the oils that you cook with, the oils that Tyson cooks with. General Mills uses it. The donut shops use it, but we haul it in bulk. So you're going to get canola oil, palm oil, all your different vegetable oils, as well as some chocolates. There's chocolate liquor, there's cocoa butter, and then chocolate that we're hauling as well. We are kind of specialized, so we stay mostly east. The kosher food grade side is mainly east of the Mississippi. You got from Chicago down into Missouri, over into Georgia, Tennessee, Carolinas, and heavy up in the Northeast. The pet side, or the non-kosher side, we just purchased, or not just, it's been over 2 years now, but we got into that business to expand a little bit. And we now are hauling out of Kansas, Iowa, Nebraska, down into Arkansas, Texas, and Louisiana. So we've been able to broaden our hiring areas. One customer we do have up in the Midwest, as Steve was mentioning, is Bungie Loaders Croklaan. And they came to us, and we've worked with them for 15 plus years. But we've always struggled with our vendors getting our trailers clean and getting them cleaned on time. So we've partnered with them on a long-term contract, and we're opening a new facility. I think we have a picture of it. Some of you veterans know where 80 and 55 meet. It's in Minooka, Illinois, just south of Chicago. That is where the terminal is going to be. There's a pilot right there at that exit. We're about 2 blocks from that pilot. You can see it from our place. It's supposed to open, or will open, the 1st of January. It will be 4 or 5 bays for shop. It'll be tractor bays, trailer bays. It'll also have, is that me? It'll also have a reefer washout facility. It'll have 2 tank wash facilities, and pedigree will be up there as well. I did take some notes. I usually don't bring notes, but I brought some notes so I can give you some exact numbers. It's 26 acres. It will be, in our driver advisory board, there's a lot of discussion about long-term parking. At that facility, we're going to have 100 long-term parking spots. Brian, can you get that back? Okay. I was going to kind of give you an idea of where those spots are. They are on the east side, I can tell you that. There's 118 truck trailer pull-through spots, so you won't have to back in. 36 bobtail spots. Those bobtail spots are going to back up to a curb, and on the other side of the curb is going to be the long-term parking. So when you're moving your stuff from your truck to your car to your truck, if you live up in that area, you can pull up and just park right across from each other, so make it more convenient for you all. There are 73 back-in trailer spots. A lot of those are going to be used for tanker, for our loaded, because what we're going to do is we're going to load all of our loads out of loaders and bring them to the terminal and drop them there for the drivers. They're not going to have to go way in, way out. They'll just pull in, drop their trailer, dirty trailer, hook to their loaded trailer, and get on the road. So on the left side of the facility, along that road, that is where we're going to do the long-term parking and the bobtail parking. On the right side of the facility where you see the trailers, that whole side is going to be the back-end trailer parking. Then obviously from there back to that pond will be your pull-through parking. There's also on the front side going to be 42 in-house associate parking slash visitor parking with us selling trucks and trailers there. There'll be people coming in and out of the terminal on a regular basis, and they'll have a place to park as well. Again, this is supposed to open January 1st. We're shooting for the 1st to the 14th. Please, when it gets open, stop by. There'll be vending, there'll be showers, locker rooms. There's not going to be basketball courts. There's not going to be a cafeteria. There's not going to be fuel. Right next to the pilot, Sam Messick, our fuel manager, is already in contact with them. Driver advisory board, someone said that the fuel there was much higher than other places in the region. Sam's already working on it. You'll be able to fuel there as low or lower than any place in the area. There'll be showers at our facility, locker rooms at our facilities, TVs, movies, vending. That's really all I have unless there's questions for me.
Any questions for the tanker division? Man, you
Getting off easy.
You got off easy. Oh, not so fast.
Yes, sir. Hang on just a second. They're bringing you a mic.
I was wondering, are y'all ever going to do like a Texas location?
I can, for the tanker division, no, we are not, but I do know they are looking heavily in Texas currently. Corey Dole kind of oversees the purchases of properties across the country, and I know they're looking there, Atlanta, a couple of other places as well. So yes, they are looking in Texas.
We have a question online. I think you may have covered it, but Charles asked, will there be a reefer washout? Is this open to all divisions?
Yes, there is going to be a reefer washout. It'll be 24/7. So we'll be able to pull through, get washed, get out of there. We'll probably also, or we will also be using the yard dog to pull trailers in, wash them, and park them. So if you don't have time to wait, hopefully there's never a line, but if there is, we'll have some clean ones there as well.
Then we have another question. Is there a wait for trainers in tanker right now, and how long is it?
5 or 6, we went 2 or 3 weeks with no trainees available. Our trainers were looking. And then all of a sudden this week we had an influx of new drivers come in. So we do have 4 or 5 waiting on the list, but we'll get those placed in the next week.
Thanks.
Thank you all.
Super. Thank you, Brett. I think the key, or one of the keys about that facility for everyone, and I think that'll really be neat, having a facility so close to Chicago that you can park. It'll be safe for you right there. You can get fuel at the pilot, then park back at Prime. So we're real anxious for that facility to come online. Justin, you want to start working your way up with your crew? As I mentioned, we're going to have Justin Kaufman next from our call center, which is Road Assist. And you may see when you're here, or if this is your first time, always in that back corner, there's always a bunch of guys there that are getting free breakfast. And it turned out they actually work with us. They're vendors. And the vendors represent the manufacturers of our equipment, some of the stuff we install on our equipment. So we want to take a few minutes today and have Justin just introduce each one, and so you can put a face to who they are. And as an example, if you had an issue with your truck, you work through your road assist advisor, we've got another source of help with our vendors. So go ahead, Justin.
Thank you, Steve. I'm very fortunate to once again be able to introduce our on-site vendors. One thing I will say are these folks are very much integrated into Prime's family, into our culture. They've worked very, very closely with many operators who are having issues, and all operators, along with reefer sales, reefer operations, and this group and leasing whenever there's any questions or concerns about the equipment. They are also incredibly connected with their dealer groups out there, and so they typically will tell you or will know, which shops are good, which ones are bad, which if you have an issue with the part or getting your truck fixed, they've got those key contact phone numbers, service managers, dealer owners, to make things happen. And that's really what they're about, is making things happen, getting your problems fixed and taken care of. But these folks are also, the majority of them are down in the Z building basement. That's where they sit. We're kind of all in one row, except for one of them's back. You can reach them through, your fleet manager, through Road Assist. Road Assist can get you in contact with them, and we'll all be around after the meeting. But I'm going to start here with our newest on-site rep. His name is Philip Guller, and Philip came to us, I want to say in October, is that right? And so we were very fortunate to be able to get Thermo King on-site rep to help take care of our tri-pack issues. And more recently, he was a video star the other day, doing a video on an we're testing some S700 reefer units. So go ahead.
Yep. Hi again, my name's Philip, and of course I'm here to support PUs, and soon to come, like Justin mentioned, you guys are going to run some of our S700 reefers. So for you guys in a reefer division, I'll be your point of contact. I with, again, like Justin said, parts issues, service issues, hours of operation. If you want to try to get to I've helped guys schedule stuff in like Albuquerque out in California. I can help you with that as well. It's good to see a lot of these trainees here. You guys got a lot of new equipment coming in, which is good. You're buying more of our product, but I just wanted to let you guys know is I'm out there to help you, but also Thermo King has a YouTube channel. So learning how to run your controller for your tri-pack, there's a video out there to help it. And then there's also training videos out there for the new reefer units. And then we've actually done some ourselves locally in-house that are coming. So I just want to mention things. I mentioned the YouTube channel, but we've seen a lot of, it's hot out there, of course. ACs is the biggest issue right now. Just be sure most of them's under but it's your evap box. Make sure you don't block that with duffel bags or clothing. We see a lot of that, boxes, gallons of antifreeze are right in front of that filter. So you're constricting the airflow. So you're going to lose your AC. I just wanted to point that out. We've seen that a lot this week.
Good deal. All right. Thank you, Philip. I'll bring up our next contestant here, Chad Taylor. Once again, very fortunate. I think you're over a year as being our on-site rep. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Took the position just over a year ago at the outset of COVID when everybody went home. So I just recently got back on site about the middle of last month. So happy to be here, happy to be immersed in this culture. I tell you what has been built here that is so driver and employee centric is just awesome to be a part of. Happy to be here. A little bit about me. I've been in the industry all told about 23 years. 21 of them have been with Summit, with International. 20 of them were as a factory trained technician. So I know just a little bit about the product. So I am here to help. Reach out to your road assist advisor. Every one of them have my cell phone, my email address. And the main thing is we're here to keep you from having unscheduled events at a dealership. But if we have those, we want to make those as quick and painless as possible. And that's what I'm here for. Here to help you, help support you, get you guys back on the road, get you running. And as Robert likes to say, out there making bank. So just if you have a problem, reach out there, reach out to your road assist, and any one of them can get a hold of me. Even your driver managers have my contact info. So readily available, answer my phone a lot, answer emails all the time. So if you guys need anything, just holler at us.
So if you drive an international truck, know him, know his phone number, obviously work through Road Assist, but he's very well connected. Another thing about Chad is he was on the floor at Summit, at International Summit, working as a technician, one of their lead technicians. And so he's incredibly mechanically inclined. He's always helping our folks out here. So we appreciate it. Thank you.
And also, if you guys are in town and you're in an international, we are seated in the basement of the Z building. Stop by and say hi. I'd like to meet you.
There we go. Next up is Van Gertner. Van is our on-site Peterbilt rep. If you're driving a Peterbilt truck, you may already know him, have his cell number. I can tell you, there's a lot of nights Van and I are communicating late at night, trying to work to get trucks in and out of shops, and probably more recently than ever. So go ahead, Van.
Yeah, I think I talked to you more than my wife some days. And we put in a lot of time for you guys, right? Because you're out and y'all don't run 8 to 5. We do answer our phone late. We are on email late because y'all guys are, well, like not a 9 to 5 job. That's not what this world's about. So I've been here about, I think I'm going on 8 years or so with being in this family, and it is a family here. This whole company revolves around everybody here. It is a family. We all have friends outside of here. We talk outside of here. So you've come to a really good. If you need me, I am the Peterbilt guy. Everybody has my cell phone number and Road Assist. Fleet managers have my cell phone number. I think it's even probably on the app that you can reach out to me. I do answer as fast and as often as I can, even on the weekends. I'm not afraid of doing that. We're here to take care of you. But man, reach out, get a hold of me. It's been a good 8 years, and we keep looking forward to taking care of you guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Van. Next up is Mark Brownwood. Mark is actually filling in today. So don't be too rough on him after this. But he's actually filling in today for Jeff Wara, who's actually our on-site rep for Freightliner. Jeff, I'll say a couple things about Jeff. An incredible job liner side. If anytime there's an issue with, how something works or a truck broken down in a dealer, and we're trying to get it in and out of the shop. I mean, he's reaching out to those key contacts, working with corporate, Kelly Watson, our regional rep, once again, to make things happen, working really late. And so I asked Mark to fill in because Mark is kind of a staple over at Premier Truck Group. He's had a lot of different roles over there, been over there a long time, and does an incredible job as a service manager over there. But tell him a little bit about yourself.
My name is Mark Brownwood. I am the service manager at Premier Truck Group, your Freightliner dealer. I've been there, I guess, 31 years. I was a technician, came from Colorado. And when I came here, I thought of being a technician. So I do understand your trucks a little bit. Please, if you have any Freightliner issues, get a hold of Jeff and we're there to back him up. We have a lot of connections. Like Justin said earlier, we can get you help with parts, service, whatever. Please give us a call. I think you all your maintenance folks have Jeff's phone number and get a hold of us. And if he needs help, we back him up. So.
Very much, Mark. Appreciate it.
This has to do with building the trucks. Since Prime is such a huge contributor to Freightliner, how come our trucks come from Mexico and not from North Carolina?
Well,
I think there's a lot of different options. I mean, I can tell you, I think they've got multiple plants, right?
Multiple plants. I will say my experience is you're getting a better truck right now. I will say that.
Yeah. I will share an example of that in that, years ago, we had some trucks delivered and there was an issue with the line and the way it was routed. And, we were concerned about the routing of it, and I believe it was a DEF line, but we were concerned about the routing of it. And so I took a few photos of it and I fired it off to the plants in Saltillo. And I can't remember if it was like 9 o'clock at night, but their plant manager was all over it, CCing multiple people saying, get all over this. We need to fix this. And, that's my impression of that. So,
Yeah. They seem to care. I mean, I love to keep things local in the United States. The Mexican folks seem to really care how they build their trucks. So, yeah. I'm with you.
Last but not least, Andy Bell. I think we figured it up. Andy probably knows how many years he's been here as our carrier rep, but
Yeah, I'll never forget, I promise you.
but Andy is our on-site carrier rep, and he works a lot with our sales and marketing folks, along with sales, our customers and operators with any carrier reefer issue. He's really dialed in to, new technology on reefer units and evaluating whether it's worth purchasing or not, along with our IntelliSets. And so go ahead, Andy.
Yep. My name is Andy Bell. I've actually been on site with Prime for 14 years now. And I do handle all the reefer units. I've actually got an assistant that works with me as well, Dean McCarville. But some days I feel like the telematics side of it, ORBCOM, more than I do for the reefer stuff. But as Justin said, yeah, I do pretty much the reefer units. Maybe, we deal with the shops all around the country. Also deal with Canada and Mexico as well. So, if you guys have any questions on anything, you ever have any issues with the reefer unit that you're not quite sure how to figure out, holler at your road assist advisor. They can get you in contact with us, either Dean or myself. Dean, back to the mechanical side of it, he's got a lot more experience as far as turning wrenches on them. I've never actually turned a wrench on one, other than just minor. But as far as the electronic side of it and knowing, the IntelliSets and understanding all that stuff, that's absolutely my baby. So like I said, and same thing with the telematics side. If you guys have any questions on how the information comes across through your Qualcomm, through telematics and fuel level sensors and all that kind of stuff, that's all my baby. So, you guys, like I said, if you guys ever have any questions, holler at the road assist advisors, get a hold of me. Absolutely. I'll help you. I'll probably go back to doing it at some time. I used to do orientation quite a bit. We do the pro maintenance class. I don't think Justin's plugged the pro maintenance class yet. But if you actually do the pro maintenance class at some point and you want me to do, I usually will do a little bit extra than what the guys in pro maintenance do, just because I deal with them a little bit more. Feel free to ask if I can be there. I'll absolutely go through a lot more in depth with them for you. So
I'll definitely ask you to be there.
yeah.
Pro maintenance is Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 a.m. And so you can sign up through your fleet manager. We would love to have you there in class. And it teaches you, it gets your hands on tools to do hands-on repairs. So changing that headlight, that fuse, these shop labor rates out there on the road, 100 plus an hour, but it's not that today. I mean, that's a piece of it, a big piece of it. It's about uptime, getting your truck going, because some of these shop waits can be 3-4 hours, 6 hours to get into the shop. That's all I've got, unless anybody has any questions.
How about a big hand for our vendors, please? They really are part of the Prime family. We're very careful on who we partner with, and they are all in. We kind of have an expression around here, don't be a victim. There's something wrong with any piece of your equipment or anything in general. Don't keep it to yourself. Let someone know. Let us know. And if you don't get an answer, go to someone else, because we will get that problem fixed. Vendors are all, they're great to have here. We appreciate each of you. Are you ready, Stan? We talked just briefly early on when we welcome our new folks about the importance of our PSD program. And one thing I'll mention, PSD program, it's darn good, but it's not perfect. If there's an issue out there, and I'll ask Stan to talk about this as well, if there's an issue out there, you're just not compatible, you don't think he or she's listening to you, get us involved. We want to make it work. So Stan's a great point of contact. He's got a lot of balls in the air, but he juggles them all. Go ahead, Stan.
Well, good morning. My name's Stan Kasterke, and I do work in the driver training area. One thing about Andy Bell that I want to mention,
and this is going to embarrass you probably. Andy's a volunteer firefighter. So 3 years ago, I've only done the 9/11 stairwalk one time. Andy was geared up walking those stairs in remembrance of 9/11. So thank you, Andy, for your volunteering. So driver training, I grew up on a farm. I can remember my grandpa handing me the keys to the hay truck and I need the hay truck over there in that field. I was 11 years old. Yeah. So the great thing about growing up on a farm is you get to learn that way. You just get handed a set of keys or something over there, and so you make it happen. That may not always be the way to do it because I've torn out some fences. I've run through some gates. I've actually got the tractor in the creek one time. Okay, so what we do here is much better than just trying to learn on your own, right? So thank you for those of you who have chosen to come to Prime and come into our driver training. Kind of the transition here with this, as a PSD, when you first start in the program, you're going to be placed with an instructor. And we've all talked this week about the fishing process. There may be someone who approaches you that says, hey, are you a PSD Prime? Come on, get my truck. That's not how we do it, okay? We're going to assign you to someone. We're going to make sure that we have some matches, personality matches and things like that, location, smoker, non-smoker, things like that. Now, that also plays over into the TNT part as well. Chris Martin is our TNT, and Steve Tassin, our TNT placement managers. We follow basically that same protocol as well. Don't be afraid to speak up, just like Steve said. If there's an issue on the truck, we need to know about that so we can fix it. You'll find that there are some people who just the personality doesn't match. And we're not looking to make best friends here. We're looking to have professional truck drivers coming into being safe on our highways, on our national highways. But if there's issues, cussing, yelling, screaming, things like that, and it's not conducive, then that is not conducive to training. So we need to know about that to fix it. I can't fix it if I don't know about it, okay? Also, I want to talk about entry-level driver training. So on February the 7th of 2022, so less than a year from now, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration will be implementing entry-level driver training. We do all of this stuff that the feds are requiring. But I talked about earlier about me growing up on a farm and kind of learning on my own to a certain point. I'm sure Grandpa and Dad were watching more than I thought they were. I'm pretty sure they were, actually, because I thought I got by with some things I really didn't get by with. So this driver training registry is really monitoring training providers. We were registered. I just registered this week with all 3 locations on the training provider registry. Kind of these fly-by-night places that take your $10,000 and hand you a CDL and say that you're good. That's what they're trying to get rid of, those places that just take your money and don't do anything. That's really what this is about. It's accountability, and that's what we need is accountability, because there's too many opportunities out there to have an accident. So we want to make sure you're correctly, okay? I really think that's all I've got. Steve, there's probably some questions.
Any questions for Stan while we've got him up here or from online?
No.
Man, you're going to get off easy today, too.
Wow. You usually ask me something if I kind of put me on the spot. So, okay. Yeah. Hey, Troy. Hold on just a second. Let's get you, Mike.
Good morning, Stan.
Hey, good morning.
I know it really doesn't pertain to you quite so much because it's more about the TNT.
There is nothing here that doesn't pertain to me.
Right.
Everything is my job if it needs to be done, right?
But is there any way that we're going through orientation that we can stop this 30,000 mile stuff? Because every student gets on a truck thinking in 30, they're going to upgrade. That is not.
Well, it's interesting, and I appreciate you saying that, Troy. So we don't say only 30,000 miles. We say a minimum of 30,000 miles. If there's things that happen, an accident, a citation, critical event, things like that, we talk about that in orientation.
even if you don't have any of those issues, you're gonna be on a truck for 35.
It could be, but we all want to have goals, right? We want to know where that mark's at. We want to know where that finish line is at. So to have that, to at least give people an opportunity to know where that finish line is, I think that's important. But then we do also reiterate that it's probably going to be more than that, but you have to do the minimum of 30,000 miles. We all like to see that mark and know destination is where that goal's at, so.
That does bring up a good point. I'll just chime in on this, for our first here. Yeah, we do say minimum 1,000 miles. My advice, don't be in a hurry to upgrade. You've got a great opportunity out there. You'll be with your trainer. You're going to be making some good money out there. We just raised and changed the way we pay our second seats. And, I don't really know anything about each of you, but I think what you're going to be making out there is probably pretty favorable to your last profession. So, listen, and when you're ready, believe me, when you're ready, we'll know it, and you'll go through a process to upgrade. And if that's your choice, we'll get you in your own truck. You'll choose lease or company, but enjoy this time where you have your trainer there and absorb all the information you can out there, because you're going to need it all out there at some point. All right, Stan. Okay. Appreciate you. I mentioned we're going to talk about security for a minute. Come on up, Bill, if you would. Security is one of those areas when nothing's going wrong, everything's good for Bill, but, then when we have a trailer broken into or stolen, everything falls on Bill. So that's why he's always so proactive on what we're doing out there. Why do I have to do this? Well, you have to do it so our trailers don't get stolen. Our customers' freight doesn't get stolen. So go ahead, Bill.
So good morning. Good morning, everyone. So Steve kind of teed it up for me real well there. One of the things that's going on right now in the industry is we have a equipment shortage. We have driver shortage, equipment shortage. So which means is that all of our trailers are very important to us at this point in time, as they always have been, but even more so now because we can't get the replacements in. So we've had a couple of them stolen recently, and it's very unfortunate, but we've got to do some stuff moving forward that will maybe help eliminate some of the situations we had. So one of the things we're going to ask you guys going forward, and this goes for everybody in this room, not new people, but everybody, every driver here. If you see a trailer sitting at a truck stop or at a rest area or on the side of the road or someplace that it just shouldn't be or just doesn't look right, and there's no truck attached to it, or maybe it's not a prime truck attached to that trailer, pick up the phone and call security. Just give us a call. It may be one of our 8 trucks that's pulling it. It may be a trailer that we've already sold, but we want to know what's going on. So basically, if you see something, please say something. It's just so easy to do. I can't tell you how many phone calls we get every week from law enforcement because they've seen our trailer sitting in a place that just doesn't look right. And we'll get a tow company out there right away to get that trailer secured, put in a tow company place, and we'll pick it up later. But that should be happening every day by each one of the drivers here. And you guys are really our face, our eyes. Everything we do starts with you guys. You guys are our best salesmen, as we always hear around here. Well, please be our best watchmen also. The second thing that we need to look at, that we need to do, is the locks you're putting on your trailers. Now, this is mostly for the reefer, guys. We need to make sure that we're using good locks. A lot of drivers, and I know it's easy to do, run into Walmart, pick up that master lock, throw it on the back of the trailer, drive down the road. Well, guys, let me tell you what, those master locks you buy at Walmart ain't worth a crap. We sell good locks in a company store. They're called Alloy. To this day, I only know of one time in 10 years that an Alloy lock's been defeated. One time. Now, we have trailers broken into, and the people say, yeah, I had a lock on it. And they'll send us a picture. It used to be one of those they buy at Walmart or AutoZone. So please take the extra time, spend a little bit more money, but put that alloy lock on the back of your trailer. It's simple. You've got to do a walk around every day before you take off. Check your seal, put your lock on, and head on down the highway. Right now, the biggest thing being stolen out there is food. That's the biggest commodity being stolen in the industry, not pharmaceuticals, not, building supplies, not home goods, but food. The reason is Have you ever seen a serial number on a steak? You just don't see it, right? So if I steal a truckload of steaks, how hard is it for me to get rid of that product? Not very hard at all. And all I make is pure profit. So those are two things I'm asking. If you see something, say something, and then please buy an alloy lock, put it on the back. You'll have an air cuff lock in there. Secure your truck up, secure your trailer up, and we'd be good to go. Any
Super,
questions?
Bill. Any questions for Bill? You know, we're real fortunate to have Bill. Comes with a good law enforcement background. He knows what he's talking about. So, man, I can't agree more. See something, say something, and please keep your trailers locked with a good lock. Oh, we did get a question, Bill, at the very end, way in the back, Keith.
You got it, Keith?
Well, I certainly can't think of who better to ask this. What is Prime's stance on concealed carry personal firearms in the trucks?
Okay, Prime does not authorize any type of concealed carry in a truck. And here's a real simple reason why. You could have a Missouri firearm license. You travel into the state of Illinois and you get stopped with that firearm on your truck, you're going to jail. You travel to New York, California, Oregon, they do not have reciprocity. Those states do not recognize that. You're going to travel coast to coast, most people will here. Secondly, a lot of our shippers do not authorize to have weapons on their property. And thirdly, we do not authorize to have any weapons on our property. So you may have on your truck, you may have a taser, pepper spray. You know, those are probably the two most biggest things I tell people to have. But it's all about personal safety out there. Know your surroundings, be aware of your surroundings. You know, if you're going to park someplace at night, park under a light. Make sure you can see the front door. Think before you do stuff. Look before you do stuff. You know, walk like you have a purpose. If you walk like you have a purpose, not like a victim, people tend to leave you alone.
Well said, Bill.
Anybody else?
All right. Thanks for your time today, Bill. A couple things before we wrap up today. You know, for folks that are here every week, they're probably thinking, okay, we made it through this meeting without talking about COVID-19. Well, we didn't quite make it because we're not there yet. And I'm not going to preach to anyone. I'm just going to tell you just a couple of things. One, you can tell from the news, this is not over. There's a lot going on. Local municipalities are changing their regulations almost daily, it seems. So I'm going to ask you, when we wore masks in here for probably close to a year, if not longer than a year, we all wore masks when we were in the building. I still carry mine just to be safe. I don't normally wear it, but some of our customers are starting to look at masks again. So please always make sure you have a mask with you. I'm sure they'll provide you with one if you don't have one, but don't be surprised if you go somewhere and the customer says, we'd like you to mask up. We understand, we're going to comply with that. And it's just, as we work our way through COVID-19. The second thing is the vaccine. It's a personal choice. Prime's not requiring anyone to get the vaccine. What I will recommend or suggest or ask you is think hard about it. Think real hard about it. Look at what's out there. You know, read all points of view on it and make your own decision. We're very fortunate here that downstairs we have Trinity Healthcare and Dr. Abraham who can give you the vaccine. It's free. The only challenge for our drivers is he can only do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays because you have to be careful when you open those vials. You basically have to use it all within 6 hours or it has to be thrown away. And it goes into a lot of stuff about how much vaccine he can get, but we can work it out to get you here on a Tuesday or a Thursday. Most places, most communities now have places. The vaccine's always free. Think about it, please. Just look at the statistics, look at the information out there. Okay, one more thing to do. Mark, I'm sorry,
We
Andrea.
have a couple of questions for Bill. Can you pop back up?
Come on up, Bill.
I missed him earlier.
Popular guy now.
Jay said, do you recommend the airlock or kingpin lock when dropping for like shop work on a tractor?
It would definitely be the kingpin lock. Pardon me. I was talking with Andrew. So yeah, definitely the kingpin lock. It's usually easier. You know, whatever really you can get your hands on. The third securement opportunity is fine, but you know, whatever you can do to get your hands on, if you have either one, is fine.
And then one more question. Since a taser is recommended, is there a recommended brand for taser?
A brand for tasers.
I do not have a recommended brand for a taser. I'll tell you, one of the best items I ever saw, it was a flashlight on one end, taser on the other end. I mean, a flashlight is always great to have on you. I mean, at night it works great, but even when you're looking up underneath your trailer during the daytime to make sure you're latched in properly, that little light there, but the taser, having a taser on the other end is a great thing to have. If you get hit with them, I will tell you they hurt. They'll put you down. My wife's done it many times on me, so I don't know what that has to do. But yeah, I think she says it's a mistake all the time. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, I mean, that's a great thing to have. You carry it on your person. It's always there. That's what I would recommend.
That's it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Bill. I think your wife's a smart woman. Come on, Mark. Dave always does me a favor before the meeting starts. He scouts out a veteran because we always enjoy talking to our veterans. So told me Mark was a veteran. So Mark, give me like the 30-second version of Mark, where you grew up, where you're from in your military service.
Well, I'm Mark. I'm originally from Washington State. I'm a military brat myself. I left college in Nebraska, went to Florida for Disney, and enlisted from there. I went into the Army. I was stationed at Fort Huachuca for almost a year in military intelligence and moved back to Florida afterwards. So I hired out of there for the Reefer Division.
And then what were you doing before you came to Prime?
I burned out in food and beverage and went to bus driving for 4 years, driving 60-foot Arctic buses.
Okay, so now you're with us and going through the program. Fantastic. Well, I got a couple things for you, but I want to forget this one. First one is, we do ask all the veterans to stand and be recognized.
If I can get all the veterans to stand up on all the terminals to be recognized, please.
Thank you all for your service. Now, I know you were in the military, so you know what the chain of command is, right? Yeah. Okay, just tell me what your version of the chain of command is. What's the chain of command mean?
For here?
No, for or for the military, whatever you like.
Well, for like the military, you start out with your privates, everything like that, and you work your way up through your sergeants, your NCOs, then you go to your commissioned officers, or in our case, we had a warrant officers as well that we reported to before you get all the way to like your sergeant majors and your generals and colonels and stuff like that.
There you go.
All the way up to the president.
So if you had an issue, you kind of started with your immediate superior. Yep. Okay, Stay right there. Don't go anywhere. And the reason I asked Mark to talk about that is, obviously we're not in the military here. We're not organized like the military, but I think there generally is a chain of command. You're welcome to talk to anyone you want in this company at any time with any issue, good or bad. But remember where that power to really get something done right away is, and that's with your partner, we'll call him, your fleet manager. Or if it's the safety department, it's with the safety department. If you have a question about security, it's with Bill and his officers out there. That's my recommendation. Always start with the people that have the ability to solve that problem, that have that information, similar to the chain of command. But as you said in the chain of command, if you don't get an answer, you can go higher and higher. And, we have operations managers, we have directors in different departments. So there's a lot of people to help you. What I'm trying to get to right here, and I'm going to do something for you, Mark, is, if your problem's not getting solved, and you say, I've talked to Steve, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I really need someone that knows what's going on. You have an opportunity to talk to anyone you want, to include our founder and owner and president, Robert Lowe, who's here today, unexpectedly to me. So I'm glad he is here. And I'm going to introduce him to you, Mark. So Robert, if you'll come on up. You can't shake his hand because he's got a bad.
I saw that. I've been there.
So if we can't solve your problems, Mark, here's your man right here. Okay. All right. Appreciate you coming out. Thanks. Oops. There you go, Rob.
Hey, Mark. Thank you. Thank you, Steve. I'd like to also welcome our new folks. You made a good decision. Appreciate you making it. And of course, our folks that have been around here for a while, thank you for what you're doing. You're doing a fantastic job. We're moving a ton of freight. We got a bunch more out there to move. So we need you folks. We need the horsepower out there. We need the capacity. And we're looking forward to, the partnership and you all joining our family. And I'll just mention a few things that you should expect from us above all. You expect respect. Truck drivers don't get it like they deserve it. We're not about that. We're about showing our appreciation and our respect to our drivers. So if you ever experience anything different than that, let me know. Like Steve said, you work up the chain of command or you can come directly to me. My cell number, my personal cell number Phone's usually in my pocket. It's over there right now. Don't answer, Brian.
Don't put it on. We're on live.
Oh,
I've made that
Okay.
mistake, Robert. Don't do that.
okay. We don't want all the competitors calling me.
We do have a very hard question for you. They said, is Robert Lowe still playing basketball?
Left-handed only, left-handed only. Man, I miss it too. Just to be glad to get over this. This shoulder surgery has kind of kicked my butt. I admit it, man. I hate to be such a whiner, but wow. If you've ever had rotator cuff surgery, you probably know what I'm talking about. It's not much fun. So I'm going to be brief. Again, we owe respect. We owe you the ability to make a living, make some bank, right? You need to make some bank. That's why you're here. Let's get through everything, get right to it. You're here to make a good living, and we're about that. We owe you safety. And along with safety goes your health. You know, we have health and fitness experts here and advisors. We want to keep you healthy. Truck driving can be an unhealthy occupation, as you know, because you're sitting around a lot. But there are things you can do to overcome that, and we want to keep you healthy. Steve mentioned the vaccinations, and I want to advocate for that. Again, it's not mandatory here. We're not going to mandate or force anyone to do anything, but I would seriously advise that you get vaccinated. We're watching these numbers here. We may have to go to additional measures. I was so glad to get that damn mask off. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. So get vaccinated so we have, hopefully, so that we do have fewer outbreaks, because, it can go through a group in a short period of time. This Delta variant, they call it, is just like 8 times more contagious. So, if you had the original COVID-19, you might infect 2 other people. With this, I think it's 8. The average is 8. If you get it, you'll infect 8 others. So we just need to scotch this thing. I'd ask you to please get vaccinated. So respect, ability to make a living, health and safety. We're all about those things. Let me know if you don't find that to be true here. Again, I thank you for choosing Prime. We're a good outfit. We welcome you to the family, and I look forward to working with you. God bless each of you, and please be safe out there.
Oh, thank you, Richard. There you go, sir.